Hi everyone and welcome to our market update for October 2016. I'm Aaron Upcroft. I'm here with Rob Gilmour. Rob, tell us about the RBA decision today.
Hi Aaron, and welcome back after a long weekend.
Yes, absolutely.
The Reserve Bank's left interest rates at 1.5% under the new tenure of Governor Philip Lowe.
Yes, new governor.
Glenn Stevens has retired. And so it's interesting, Glenn Stevens used to write his own press releases, and I think Governor Lowe's taken to copy and pasting a few of those. A lot of the same themes have come through in this month's statement, though he did delve into some specifics around unemployment, sort of saying that while unemployment is certainly looking quite stable and growing, that there are patchy elements to it, and particularly a lot of it being driven by part-time employment rather than full-time employment.
Okay.
He did also delve into a little bit more detail around the property market and their insights. Interestingly, they noted that rental growth was at the lowest it's been in decades. Also, the turnover of properties has really dropped off, in addition to tighter lending standards and low credit growth. So it's sort of pointing towards a level of comfort that they have in terms of the property market starting to cool.
Seems that way.
Yeah. And the other thing that they also noted, which had been in previous statements, was the supply of apartments that's going to hit all the East Coast cities in the next couple of years. So generally they don't see concerns with sort of overheating, and they're probably pointing towards a bit of a cooling in property.
Yeah, okay. And were there comments made about credit markets and what's happening there?
Look, some of the same themes globally. I think they're happy with where rates are at the moment. You talk to a lot of analysts and economists, and they're still pretty divided. There is certainly a camp there that say that rates will go lower. My view is that they'll only go lower if events overseas start to trigger that.
Yeah.
And I think the Reserve Bank, and particularly under Lowe, gauging sort of what he said in the past, will be pretty reluctant to cut rates unless it's really needed. So
yeah, okay.
My view is probably rates will stay on hold, certainly for the foreseeable future on that side.
Right, okay. And look, we're still seeing some degree of shifting around with rates in the mortgage markets. I can't say there's been a lot over the last month. There's been a little bit here and there. There are definitely some lenders are still very competitive with what they're offering. There's still some absolutely fantastic fixed rate deals at the moment, so if that's what you're talking about as well, then that could be an option as for clients as to what to do. What are your thoughts there?
I think so. I mean, if we look at where we are in the rate cycle, rates are at historical lows, 1.5%. They really can't go that much further, like I say, unless something massive happens overseas. So it's probably a good time, and you're probably seeing some deals certainly in the fixed rate market starting with a 3. That looks pretty compelling in terms of fixing. And if the mood does change and the sentiment does change, that the RBA will start to raise rates. And don't forget that the US economy, they're trying to do that overseas. Then you'll see those fixed rates deals, I'm sure, disappear pretty quickly.
Yeah, okay.
But you must be seeing a few of them.
Yeah, there's still some really great stuff, and there are ones with 3s, and even a 5-year rate with 3s, and they're still here. But again, we don't really know how long they're going to last, and obviously this will start to drive it somewhat. So
there's a lot to be said by being able to lock in a good long-term fixed rate, get certainty of payments, and look, I think 5 years starting with a 3.
It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's great. And what about any other markets and investment in general? What's coming up what do you see coming up in the next month or so?
Well, certainly we've had a bit of clarity around superannuation with the government clarifying what they're going to be taking to Parliament in terms of the changes. The big one is dropping the $500,000 lifetime limit, which was very controversial in terms of it being almost retrospective. So they've done away with that. There is now the ability to still contribute up to $100,000 per year, but there is a lifetime limit there in terms of $1.6 million. So it does open up some opportunities for planning with clients, allows us to shift account balances, and certainly with clients that are pushing the 1.6 million, we've got some strategies that can come into play around managing the potential tax on those balances. So super changes, that's quite topical. And I guess the other one that's coming up is the big event is really what's going to happen in US elections.
Yeah, well, let's just maybe wait for the fallout of that one before we decide to comment too much.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to say what's going to happen. I won't call the election.
No.
Because, we learnt that on Brexit. It's impossible to say. Quite scary as we get close to it. But, if he does get in, it's certainly going to ruffle a few feathers. Markets, they may see it as a positive because he's very pro-business, cutting tax.
Yeah, sure.
So maybe see a rally in the US market as a result. But it's too difficult to call.
Interesting one. Well, look, that's our market update for October 2016. We'll see you again next month.